Hey guys, it's JC's Reborn Journey here, and we're gonna have a little chat, okay? So, I'm really not in the same world you're living in at this time. Very lost because I didn't even know it was gonna snow tomorrow until 3:30 this afternoon. So I don't watch any TV anymore. I'm not getting ever since I changed phones. I'm not getting all my updates. I don't get alarms that hey, there's a snowstorm coming. That'd be nice. Um, so it's hard for me because I think of my learning disabilities to kind of change phones. It's usually pretty hard. I mean, I'm still using my old phone. I don't even use my new phone for videos. So yeah. Um, so I didn't want to go out today. I wasn't gonna go out today. I didn't really want to go out today, but I had to because it's gonna snow, and then you don't want to go out when it's snowing. And I don't even know if you guys can hear me because for some reason my voice is so deep that nobody can hear me anymore. It's so funny. The thing is this is just the start. Imagine how deep my voice is going to get. It's going to get very manly. Yes, it is. Can you hear me? No, I was whispering. It is going to get very deep. And I think it probably has to do with age. Because I'm 36, I'm going to be 37 in May. Yes, I'm getting so old. I'll be 40 in 3 years. 3 years and 5 months, to be exact. So, um, I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, so what do I want to talk about? I know I want to say a few things, but um, what should this video be about? I don't know. So I went out. We'll start with that. I went out. I got some food. Okay, got some healthy food, and then I got some food that wasn't like it's like but at least it keeps you from dying. I did. When you go shopping before a storm, you are not going to get everything because a lot of things are going to be out, like bread and milk and different things like that. The cool thing is that I use lactate milk. Um, I like the brand better. The milk lasts longer. You can buy 3 gallons, and it can last you a month and a half. Yeah, really. Um, so I just like it better. It tastes better. It's whatever. And I decided to kind of go with the whole milk. Um, I'm probably not supposed to because that will probably gain me weight, but I wanted it for the fat. Um, because I use peanut butter that's the powdered peanut butter, doesn't have fat in it, and I'm trying to eat healthy, so you gotta have some fat. So, yeah. Um, so, I was able to get 3 of those. So that will last me through the week. It's 4 days. I'm going to be home for 4 days. I don't care. I would rather be home for 4 days than have to shovel for 4 days, right? That doesn't sound very fun, does it? No. I'm sorry for anybody who does. And if you do, I hope you get paid for it. um, so the last couple of days, I've been doing push-ups throughout the day. So I'm not doing them all at once. I do 20 sets. 20. I'm sorry. I do sets of 20, but I'm not just doing push-ups. I'm doing planks. I'm doing some manly stuff, and then I bought an ab wheel. So I think it's more advanced for me than I'm supposed to use. But I looked it up on YouTube and wanted to at least know how to properly do it because my PT guy doesn't know that I bought it because I bought it after PT ended. And it definitely looks like it was more advanced for me than I should use, whatever. But I really want my abs to be a little bit more tight or whatever before top surgery. because it's going to take me a long time to recover after top surgery. I know this. Trust me, people. I know. It's going to take me longer than most people. A lot of people that are transgender right now are younger that are going through the change, or they're saving up money in order to go through the change. And so they weren't they're younger and their body's younger, so they don't have as many like problems as someone that's 36. So for me, in my situation, it's just gonna be harder. Like, even my PT guy was just like, you're gonna be starting all over again. And he's like, don't try to do it. Like, he's like, when he did something, he got hurt and he needed to recover, and he said he went to the gym and he thought he could do whatever, and he almost passed out, or he did pass out, or something like that. I don't know. Like, he said he almost passed out from the pain of what he did. So I don't really remember every detail, but yeah, that was basically the gist of it. And so here's the thing. I am severely learning disabled. And I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about my struggles, because this happens throughout the day. And then what do I use to get through that? And I've been really wanting to write a book about my life, and I finally figured out how to do that. I figured out how to write music, like when you have something in your mind and you gotta just get it out, but you can't like write it. You say it. You record it. It's perfect. You do the same thing when you write a book, and it sounds more natural. And the thing is when you obviously when you talk, you hesitate, or you make mistakes, or you stutter, or you say the same words. When you're writing it out, you can fix that while you're writing it. And once you see it on paper and you read it back to yourself, if you want to make any changes, you can make the changes then. But when you talk it out, it sounds more natural than actually, like, in your brain going to your hand, going to the paper. It's different. So I hope, it comes out pretty good. The creepy thing for me was I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I want to listen to it. But the cool thing for me, or the creepy thing for me, was when I hear myself talk, it sounds different than what you're hearing. Because when I heard the recording, it sounds different than what I'm hearing when I talk. It echoes in my head. It's weird. It's cool, but weird and different. And every day my voice sounds different to me. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So anyways, I wanted to share with you a couple more things that I do like throughout the day. So I can't read anything. Like, I can, but it's very challenging, and it actually tires me out because I have to like focus so hard on what I'm reading, and half the words I don't know what I'm reading. And yeah, don't ask me what I do on Facebook, because I don't do much on Facebook. Okay, if people have most people's lives, I can't keep. I wouldn't be able to know. Like, I couldn't be a person that deals with drama because I can't read it. Or like, so sometimes not knowing about things isn't always a bad thing, right? You're in your own little world. But part of me like feels like I struggle, like I feel like I miss out on a lot of things because everybody's always able to do all these things, and I'm just like right here doing these things, and I can't really do all things that people are doing. It's crazy. It's like, what? Snapchat and this chat and that and Facebook and YouTube, and I'm like, what is that app? It's like there's just too many things out there. And, you know, it's crazy. And when you're dyslexic or when you have learning disabilities, I have what's called receptive and expressive language disorder. So what that means is what I hear or what I see, what I'm processing, doesn't matter, on a computer, on a phone, whatever, doesn't mean that it processes correctly. So I had this big struggle with my PT guy, and I felt really bad for him. And I had to remind him a few times that I am severely learning disabled. um, but it was getting in our way of our work because, okay, one thing you need to know about JC, okay? When I don't understand about life, and you're trying to tell me something about life, like you're trying to show me how to do something or whatever. So, like, for example, in PT, this is an everyday thing. He's like, do this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, what are these words you're saying? But I keep hearing these words, but I don't know. I can't put the words with the exercise. That was my big problem. And, poor guy, he's just like, my God. Like, we're talking 6 months. Like, he keeps telling me, buy a book which I'm going to do, buy a book that can help you know what muscles go with what exercise, and then maybe you'll kind of get the two together. So, I'm definitely getting the book this month. It's not that expensive. It's like $10 at, like, Barnes & Nobles. I'm going to call Barnes & Nobles and ask them and all that stuff. And, I'm definitely going to get this book, and I'm going to try and work on it. Like, I have 3 months probably before I go back to PT. So I have 3 months to do my research and educate myself, because you know what? Do you know how many muscles we have in our body? It's like 640 different muscles, and I think he said like there's 800 and something. I mean, there's an amazing amount of muscles that are on our body. Like, just our face alone. Like, just our cheek here. Like, it's just amazing. It's crazy. Our bodies are just fascinating. I think that's why I love medicine. But anyways, getting off topic, right? So when JC doesn't understand something, and just so you know, my friend laughs at me when I talk about myself in the third person, which I just did. Whatever. So, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. I talk to myself all the time. Like, people probably think I'm a schizophrenic because I'm in the store just mumbling to myself. Yeah, I don't have anybody else to talk to. Like, my mom had to confront me and be like, why do you always say we? We this and we that. And I asked my friend, and she's just like, you've been saying that for a long time. And I'm like, I don't know, me, myself, and I, this person, that person, whatever. I'm like, we're all the same people. So anyways, the one thing that you need to know about JC is when we can't put a word, like, okay, for example, there's 3 different types of planks, okay? There's the plank that goes on the knees, and then and then there's the plank that you are here and your legs are straight out and your knees are not on the ground, and then there's the other one that your arms are up, almost looks like a push-up, okay? That's not the one to do. But the one on the knees, I couldn't understand, like, I couldn't get the name for him, like, so I started calling them baby planks. Like, he was able to know that he's like, yeah, the one you call a baby plank, do that. I don't do the baby planks anymore. I didn't want to. I wanted to do the big boy planks. I don't want to be baby. So, yeah, it was, and make up words. Um, so my brother, my older brother, I have two brothers and a sister. Okay, so my older brother is kind of like a broster. You know, he's like always like bro this and bro that, and, you know, that kind of stuff. And since I've been growing up, I never referred myself as a brother or as a sister. Um, Anytime I would write a card, it would always say bro sis. Confused. Not confused. I'm not confused, but it was kind of like to help them out, I guess. So it was a bro sis. I never used the word sister, didn't like that. I still don't like that. So now going through my transition, today when I showed him some facial hair pictures, you know, kind of let them be a part of the transition. My brother used to pick on me when I was younger because I've been transgender for that long. Like, I've been transgender since I was 5. I've adamantly wanted to be, I'm a boy, don't dress me like that. I mean, my poor mother and what she had to go through. But I went through like a lot of bullying in homes, in school, and then my parents were divorced, and then um, that kind of made the situation worse because one allowed me to dress like a boy, the other one didn't, and I'm kind of like, why didn't they collaborate a little better? But they were so like, some people that get divorced, they can be friends. My mom and dad were enemies, so they were putting us in the middle of their battle, which was not healthy. Anyways, so my family has had, I think, what is it? 5, I would say 31 years of getting used of me being transgender and transitioning. And I always knew I was going to transition at some point in my life. Didn't know it was kind of going to happen all this way. Plans got majorly changed, which that's another video. And it's also going to be in my book, anyways. They, I don't even know what I was talking about. That's how ADHD I am now. That testosterone's making me like create, like, I don't know. I just have a lot of JC problems. Anyways, they've had 31 years. That's what I was talking about. So they had 31 years to get used to the idea of me transitioning. If you can't accept me now, after all these years, and the uncomfortableness of everything, I hated like special events, like not birthdays, but like weddings or anything that was like formal, because that was like the only time my mom really and this is even as an adult, gave me a hard time about what I wear. And that's always been a battle. So I think she kind of made me hate special events. Any dress up. I mean, I've always wanted to wear a suit and tie. And I even had a job once that hired me, and I told them I was transgender, and the only way I would work here, because they had, like, men had to wear a suit and tie, women had to wear dresses. And I'm like, you couldn't pay me enough money to wear a dress. There's just not enough money in your budget to get me to wear a dress. I said, the only way I'll work here is if you accept me as a transgender male and allow me to wear a suit and tie. And they did. Of course, I was let go 3 weeks later for whatever reason. They didn't give me a reason. I told them at the beginning that I will start as a full-time, but I don't do well full-time. And if I need to go part-time, I need you guys to accept that if I need to tell you I need to go part-time. 3 weeks later, I told them I needed to go to part-time, and that's when they let me go. They didn't even like put me on the schedule. It was really weird. But I've dealt with a lot of like job bullying because of my transgender. Like, I'm just different. People don't like different. Well, too bad. Get over it. You know? It's not necessarily a bad thing to be different. How's that for an answer? And if you're different, it's a good thing. Because normal is boring. Trust me. 9 to 5 job, go home, eat dinner. That's boring. You just want to have every day to be like an adventure and for your mind to just wander in sometimes dangerous territory, but for the most part, just imagination is just amazing. To have an imagination, and there are a lot of people that just don't, and having an imagination is the bomb. It's the best. It's you can escape. It's a place to escape to because you can have that imagination and go somewhere else when you need to, too. So, anyways, so going back to a couple things that I do throughout the day to help me. So, I told you at the beginning, more the beginning of the video, that I can't read anything. That includes texts and all that stuff. Well, it so happens that phones are very handy for people like myself. Now, I have to say, between an iPhone and an Android, for people that are learning disabled, iPhones are definitely easier and more capable of having software or having whatever to, like, things are just, you're able to use a voice activating device easier. The icons are bigger and that helps, and the way the apps are laid out are a lot easier to process in your brain. Apps on the Android, or even just how the Android's set up, it's very confusing. But everybody's different. Some people that are learning disabled really like Android. Good for you. That's fine. But for me, iPhones are better. Now, number one. What is the number one thing that JC needs on the phone? I won't say number one, but I'll say something that I use often. So, just now, before I started my video, I was on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook very often. I really use just Messenger. But tonight I wrote some things on Facebook because it's been 6 months since Dennis passed. That was 6 months yesterday. I don't even know what time it is. Yeah. 3 minutes it will be 2 days ago. Whatever. It was yesterday. But we'll say the 2nd. How's that? So you know what day it is. You know what day it was. Anyways, I wrote some things on there. And you know what? I've noticed it's really even hard for me to write anything about him without getting emotional. So I can write it, but then when I read it, I can get emotional. I noticed earlier today when I was writing to my counselor, and I was writing about some stuff about Dennis. I'm like, I said, just writing this is upsetting me. So, yes, we have a lot of work to do in the grieving department. But anyways, I've been writing some stuff on Facebook, and some stuff about transgender stuff, some stuff about, I'm not, like, I can't say I'm not close to people, but there's just so many people, or just whatever, and sometimes it's easier to be able to have people part of your transition or your life if you write things on Facebook. So it's easier for people to see. And if you're not friends with me on Facebook, The link is in the description, so you can go be my friend on Facebook. Anyways, so I know this is a really long video, but some people do like a JC fix every now and then. And Javian's sleeping. He's passed out. It's late. It's like 12 o'clock at night. I don't even care. Like, it just, nothing bothers, like, I don't know. Anyways, we won't go there. So, I have a hard time with spelling. So, I feel almost neglected. When I was younger, what was hard was I was a behavioral issue. So, had a lot of behavioral issues. And when I mean behavioral issues, I mean I was suicidal. I was very suicidal. So, I had to be hospitalized. So, my mental health actually took over education. And when you're a mental patient or whatever, they like to just let you do what you already know versus trying to teach you something new. And when I was in like elementary school, and it was really hard because we used to have, I mean, I'm sure you guys know, you have spelling bees, but you have every week the teacher gives you like 21 words, like 20 words plus a bonus, right? But I could only learn 10. And because I was learning disabled, that was okay. And it was the one thing that I could do with my mom at home, homework-wise, without having a whole meltdown or whatever, or her not being able to be patient anymore or whatever. I mean, she had more than one kid. I wasn't her only kid. There was a lot of stuff going on. Plus a baby in the house. There had to be a baby in the house at that time. I was 9. My brother was born when I was 9. So that was a big deal too. Like, wait a minute. I was the baby for 9 years, and now all of a sudden we're having a baby? And we had 2. We had my sister like 3 years later. We didn't. My mom did. She did all the work. I was hospitalized when my sister was 6 months old. So my poor mom. I mean, it was funny because when I was telling my friend, like, we've been friends for 18 years, right? 18? Yeah, 18 years. I had to think, like, what the hell? Since 2000. So we've been friends for 18 years, and we've kind of known like each other's lives, but never like into detail. And he had a job he had to go and do, like 5 hours away, and he was going to drive in the middle of the night, and I was actually kind of having a meltdown that night. So it was kind of good that we were talking, because I was just like having anxiety. I didn't want to go home. So we kind of helped each other out. He needed a buddy to just talk to and listen to get the time to go by fast, and I actually needed help mentally. And it was funny because I was telling him in detail what was going on in the hospitals and the treatment programs, and when my mom had to be where, and what I did, and what kind of behaviors were happening during that time. And the only thing he kept saying was, "Your poor mother." Your poor mother. Like, your mother was already there at like 6 a.m. Like, your poor mom. She just said, "Your poor mom," that whole time. I gotta tell her about that. That was funny. And yeah, my poor mom. Like, I've put her through a lot. I think I was the behavioral. I was different. I was the outsider. So, anyways, the spelling bees. These really are the spelling, like learning how to say the word, learning how to spell the word. But I feel that once the mental health got in the way, which was when I was in 5th grade, um, that kind of took a back seat. And then once I ended up in like regular, like now I wasn't allowed to go back to public school. Um, I OD'd, and when I say OD'd, I just took like a handful of pills and took and I think some alcohol or something. I don't even know if my mom even knows that. And went to school. And that kind of got me kicked out of school. They're like, this person is too mentally ill and not allowed back, and we will pay for whatever school you want to send them to. So, um, yeah, that's what happened. But I had to go to a mental. I was in and out of mental. No, I was actually in the mental hospital for 3 years. I was in a school, like a behavioral school, for 1 year. But again, we were just learning the same things I already knew. And then that same thing happened in high school. Because again, I had to go into behavioral school. And again, they did the same thing. We're not going to teach you anything new. We're just going to teach you what you already know. So you don't have any behavioral issues. Like, why don't you actually teach me something and maybe I'll want to stay in class? So that was a big... I don't know how I graduated because they didn't teach me anything. And I've actually learned more on my own outside of school versus the 12 years I learned in school. So my vocabulary, that was the whole point of this conversation. My vocabulary isn't very high. Like, I don't know how to spell a lot of things and blah, blah, blah. Right? So, I don't know how to spell it. Let's make up a word. So, I just needed to know. I was writing some things I wanted to know. Now, the key thing is, I have dentures, but I also have an auditorial problem. So actually saying the word correctly can be difficult. So you have to at least learn how to say the word correctly in order to get the answer. So, I have my phone here, and I say to whatever that thing is, how do you spell utilized?
Utilize. U-T-I-L-I-Z-E.
So it also says it to you. So this is if you say it right, which if you notice I said it wrong, but it said it the way I wanted it to. I said utilized with a D, but I didn't care. Once you get the basic of it, that's all that matters. So not only does it show you the word, but it spells it to you. So now you can be sitting here typing the word out while it says it, but it says it too fast for me. So most of the time I have to stop it, or I'll have to keep looking at it or whatever. So another big thing that I use is copy and paste. But what app do I use? I used text to speech. That's what it's called. Text to speech. I know you really can't see it here. But when you copy, you know how to copy. And then you go into this part where it says here, it says tap here to type. You hold for a little bit longer until you see the paste button. And then you can hit speak, and it will speak it to you. Now, all my stuff in here is private, so I can't have it speak it to you. But I do it with text. Like, if people are texting me and it's like, oh my god, overwhelming, I just copy, paste it, put in that thing, and we're good to go. So, another thing that works really good is the voice activating software. So as I just showed you, I needed to do that. But I need it for a lot of things. So like I need it for Facebook. I need it for Messenger. I need it for Google. So like it has a voice activating thing. I can say like what would I need? Here. how to legalize your name on PayPal. So I just said what I wanted, and now it just gives you all the answers. So it really helps for without having to type, because you got to figure out how to write it. It's hard. It's really hard. Um, but a lot of apps are easy, but I don't use a lot of apps. Like most of these apps are pretty easy. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I have to do Amazon too. Jesus. Another thing I have to do. Okay. Thanks for reminding me, guys. So, yeah, I have to utilize a lot of things. So, there's something on the computer, which I will see if I can figure out real quick. So, there's a voice activating device on here. It's a thing you have to install. It's for free. It's called Natural. Hold on. I think I gotta open it. Natural Reader. Free. So that's what it's called. And I only use that on the computer. And if people are writing to you, or you have an email, or I mean anything, you are researching something and you need to read the whole entire page, you copy and paste it there, and then the computer reads it to you, which I love. I love that. And what else? I'm trying to think. There was something else I was going to tell you. I do still have to type on the computer, though. It'd be nice if I could get something that could do the voice activating. I think I should look that up and see if I could find something. It's not that it does take me a long time to type. And it's not that I don't want to type. But it hurts my hands to type. Because I'm focusing so much on how to, do everything. And my hands and arms and like the muscles start hurting me. So yeah, I will be handwriting my book. I won't be typing it for the first time. And I figured out I wanted to write a book of my life, and I'm kind of gonna start around where we are right now, like in the past year, and probably in the book I'm gonna be all over the place, but it's gonna be like I'm talking to you, which is really cool. So I'm excited to get started on that. And then there were like a few words I don't even remember what I was saying, but it was cool. Like I think I do better audio versus like thinking it going to the hand, and yeah, that's it. To sign off, I got a few things at the store. I needed to get a new external hard drive because I need to take everything out of my computer, put room in it, and I need to make sure that I don't lose anything. So having copies in 2 different external hard drives, I don't mind. But I'm almost running out of space in the other one, and I already have 2, and I needed another one, so I decided to invest in one of those. At least I didn't buy a baby, right? But speaking of babies, of course, we cannot forget the babies, right? So these were on clearance. Oh. Yes, my muscles hurt. But we're not done doing push-ups. So I love owls for girls. And these were like, I don't know how much these are regularly. Regularly $10.99. Wow, what a ripoff, right? So I got them for half off, I guess. $5.50. And I decided to get the little girl. I have Braylon. So I guess I only have one newborn size girl. Because some I'm selling, some babies I'm selling. So I got these for her. This one, I like this one, even though that's not my favorite color. But for a girl, that's not too bad. And then it has this little owl one on there, really cute. So yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I'm just not. I'm still trying to bond again with the babies. I think that the clothes that are over here for the store that I have to cut and do, it's kind of overwhelming for me. So trying to buy more clothes kind of get overwhelming. But I guess when it's like a nice new outfit, I don't know. I'm trying anyways, right? I haven't really bought anything for the babies really. Like I buy stuff for Javian sometimes, but other than and I'm not allowed to buy anything for his sister until she's made. That's the rule. And Javian's got more girlfriends than I do. I don't have any. He's got girlfriends all over the place. One in Canada, and I don't know where the other one was. I think there are two in one location. Yeah, everybody wants to be his girlfriend. Everybody loves Javian. I know you guys love Javian. But we definitely have to start doing a few videos and putting them aside for after top surgery. I don't know. Like, I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to hold any of them. I might be able to, like, my mom might be able to bring me over a small baby, like 14 and under. But other than that, I can't cuddle with any of my babies. How sad is that? I'm very sad about that. And I don't know if my mom's gonna like pick them up right or hold them right, and yeah. So we'll just have to look at them for now, and it's okay. I'm gonna have to. What I'm gonna do? Like I'm so frustrated with myself because I don't know what to do. I'm like, I could make like I can paint the babies that I want to paint. There's 4 of them that I want to paint. 2 that are like Javian size, and then 1 and 2 that are toddler size. So I'm like debating with myself. I'm like, you got a month and a half or 2 months, right? I can paint them, and then all I'll have to do is root them after, and that can take me 6 months. I don't care, because I have recovery I have to do too, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to root after because of the arm movement and stuff like that. So but if they were painted, it would be one less thing to do. So I'm like, they'd be painted. And I don't know, because I haven't used the oven yet here. So I do have one baby that my friend gave me that I was willing to try, because I wanted to like try a couple of different techniques and whatever. And I want to try my oven out. I don't know how my oven's gonna do, because it's a smaller version of an oven, but it's still an oven. And are you going to cook my baby? Because it's a brand new oven, so is it gonna cook my baby? And I do have to say, between North Carolina's oven and this one, I feel more comfortable with this one, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, wow, that was a long video, guys. You guys still with me? You guys still trying to get your JC fix? Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff to talk about, I guess. And I am growing facial hair. Okay, so before I go, I want to tell you something funny. Or not, well, alright. You're gonna laugh. I don't think it's funny. But when you think about it, it's funny. Okay. So, when Dennis was alive, and we'd go to the store, grocery store, whatever kind of store, I had to ask him a lot of times to grab something that was up on a top or shelf that I couldn't reach. I'm only 5 feet tall. Now, try being a man and being 5 feet tall. You're going to get made fun of and laughed at. Big time. Even your girlfriend's gonna laugh at you, especially if she's taller and you're asking her to grab it. That would be funny. But I'd be okay with that if I had a girlfriend that was taller than me. Obviously, it's gonna be harder to find a girlfriend that isn't. But anyways, beside the point. So, when Dennis was alive and well, and we could go to the store, he'd laugh at me. But we'd be joking about it and whatever, and he'd get what I needed, and we'd move on. Now, I have to ask strangers. So it's either I have to look stupid because I could pass as easy. Right now, I don't think I'm passing as a guy, and I'll tell you why. I'm too big here. So automatically that gives it away, and that sucks. I hate that about me. And I can't tell you how I'm looking forward to top surgery. Like, I can't wait till my birthday because my birthday is in May. It's not about my birthday. It's about what will be accomplished in that amount of time. From now to May, what will be accomplished? And I can tell you right now, top surgery will be over. Recovery will be, started. I'll be a month into recovery, month or two into recovery, 2 months. I think that would be 2 months recovery, but like you can't do anything for 3 weeks or something like that. I don't know. You have to sleep on your back for 3 weeks. I don't know. I can't even sleep on my back for 3 hours. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna grab some like cheap pillows at Walmart and test them out. Like put one under my back and have me kind of at an angle and see if I sleep longer that way without getting in pain. Just see. Because if you know ahead of time, then you kind of know what to do after. Get my point? And if those pillows don't work, maybe you need to get something different. But I do have some foam pillows I should try first. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Actually, you know what? That's a good idea. I'll try that out tonight. How's that? Thanks, JC, for giving me that idea. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to, like, the future, I guess. But, so anyways, I didn't know it was supposed to snow until later tonight, like today. So I had to go out, and I didn't want to go out. And, of course, everybody grabs the stupid bread, like regular bread, whatever. And why do they have potato bread if nobody buys it? Because that's like the only bread that was there. Or you have rolls. Or you have the cool bread. Like, no one was buying the cinnamon raisin bread. What are you guys, stupid? That's the best time to buy it, is when it's winter and snowy and you want something to taste good. That's the best time to buy them. I bought 2. But the problem was I couldn't reach the other one. I was able to reach one, and I'm like, okay, I can either look stupid and climb on the shelves, or I can ask the closest person to me to help me. And that's what I did. And then I thought, now when I pass as a guy, that's not going to look good, is it? But maybe I'll look so young, I'll just look like a little kid asking for help. Hopefully I can get away with that, right? Yeah, so that happened tonight. after I kind of like messaged my PT guy because he's always making fun of me about my height. He's just like, "You're really short," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know." and so I just messaged him and told him I thought he'd get a laugh at that. So I told him that. And when I see him, I'll ask him if he even got the message because it's on like Messenger, but we're not friends on Facebook because I don't think we can really be friends on Facebook. And I don't think he really goes on Facebook that often, but whatever. You're still gonna get Messenger. If you have Messenger on your phone, you will get it. So, yeah. Um, I don't know if he would frown upon, he probably would, about how many push ups I'm doing a day. And I do feel pain. But I feel muscular pain more than sciatic pain. That's two different types of pain. So you got fibromyalgia pain, which is your muscles. You got your muscle pain anyways because you're working them out. And yeah, that's all I know. And isn't there true that they say no pain, no gain? So if you have no pain, how can you gain any muscle? Right? And just so you know, I do kind of feel fat today. I mean, I had to actually put this at a different angle to just not look as fat, but yeah, I'm having a fat day. You have these days because the testosterone is changing your body every day. Every day. It's crazy. It's like your voice is getting deeper, and then one day it will get like my voice is getting higher and lower as I'm talking to you. So I actually have to raise my voice so you can hear me, and then the pitch changes. At least in my head it does. So, yeah. Facial hair, and I don't know. I guess I don't mind my hair like this during my transition. When the sides are shorter than the top, and I started cutting it myself because why pay $20 to have it done wrong? Might as well, if you're gonna mess it up, you might as well do it for free versus, and actually, for me, it's not that hard. It doesn't like look that bad. I don't think. And it needs to. And that's one thing I've noticed too. Like during my transition, my hair is growing really, really fast. I think I cut it like I don't know now. Maybe it's been almost 2 weeks. I don't know. I like it short where you don't have to do nothing. I mean, I still wash it when I get up and make it look at least presentable. Cause yeah, when you have like hat head, before this video, I had to wash my hair because I had hat head, and that doesn't look good. You have to have like regular hair and not hat head. And yeah. Oh, this thing here is the bomb. I paid $20 for this thing. So this is I mentioned this before. It's my favorite toy. I've been listening to music more than I've been watching TV. I don't really watch TV anymore. It's been hard for me to watch TV since Dennis died. Because Dennis was just like a TV buff. So it's been really hard for me to watch like any of the shows we were watching before. And yeah, kind of sucks. But we'll figure out life as we go along. But this thing right here, I mean, Dennis wouldn't. First of all, he didn't like any of my music that I liked. The only thing that we liked together was Rascal Flatts. Like, that was the only thing that we could really listen to together. Which was okay. We were 40 years apart. What do you expect? But this thing wouldn't have been a device I could probably use back then. But I just crank it up and listen to music. And like earlier today, I was dancing. Yes, I like to dance. I suck at dancing, but I like to dance. I like to dance. I like to. I just like to feel the music. Like I said, I suck at dancing. I'm not. It hurts my legs to dance. I mean, it really hurts to dance, but it feels good to dance. Like I don't know. I like dancing, I like singing, I like writing. I like a lot of things, guys. Like, there's a lot of things you probably don't even know about me because I like so many things that I can't even share everything that I like with you just because it doesn't, like, I don't know. And right now I'm trying to figure me out again, so that's like, okay. How do we do this without Dennis, really? Like, that's been the hard part. Uh, it's one thing if you were living with other people, like if you had a roommate or if you were living with other people, it may not be so hard. But living alone, um, I think made it harder. You have no distraction, no people making noise, you have no people to talk to, you have nobody to socialize with. And kids, you have no like distractions. Like kids are a distraction. They are mommy, daddy, give me this, give me that. I need food. I need this. Like you need to feed them. You need to. So they're a distraction. You know, you gotta go here. You gotta go there. They have like sports and different things they play. So it keeps you occupied. Your mind occupied. And when you have absolutely nothing to distract you, that sucks. That's like the worst. Um, because it intensified everything. It made everything worse. And I can tell you this, though, it's probably better living alone during transition. I've gotten so disorganized, which that's hard to say, even though I might look organized. I'm not really that organized right now. Like, I don't feel that organized. You guys look at me and you're probably like, wow, you should see my home. But I'm really not mentally organized. Like, I can't even keep track of things like I used to. I'm really ADHD. I'm doing things I never would have done before. Like today, like tonight when I came home, I was just like, dude, you're such a guy. Um, just throwing things wherever and just allowing them to just like the food to go on the floor. Like obviously it's in its wrapping, but um, I would never have done that before. Like I would have had to specifically hold it, put it on a certain place, and take it out of the bag, and none of that anymore. I lost my car twice today. Like I'm losing my car in a parking lot all the time because I'm so detached from life. I don't even know what's going on around me, and then I lose my car. Yes, I found it, but I'll lose it again, and then I'll find it. Is that a guy thing or just people that are just in their own little world? Like I don't know. I don't know. I miss Dennis though. I really do, and I notice I miss him more and more as every day goes by. So it's like reversed. People say, "Oh, you know, the longer it gets, the easier it becomes." No, it doesn't. Who said that to you? Because that was stupid. That was dumb. That was like the worst advice. And there is nothing that anybody can say to make it better. It's just a fact. And don't try. Like that's the thing. Like if you just tell the person you love them, like especially like close friends and family, like my friends and family don't get me. They don't, even there they're just like, even my mom was just like, you can't keep living in the past and you can't keep living in the future, blah blah blah, and and it's hard because I know that my mom and I aren't really that close. Like, I'd like to be closer, but I think we bring out the worst. No, I'm sorry. I bring out the worst in her. I don't mean to, but my bipolar clashes with her personality. I don't know why. It just does. So it's hard for us to relax with each other, you know? And we're gonna have to learn how to do that because we still have a lot to live. So we might as well learn how to live and communicate with each other. Um, it's funny though, because my mom's always like a go, go, go kind of person, and she can't keep up with me. We tried one on my birthday one time, and we like went shopping for like 8 hours, and I tired her out big time. Like, I'm like, come on, mom, let's go, let's go, let's go. And the funny thing is, my mom walks faster than me, but when I go shopping, I shop better than her. Like, I can shop forever. Now, this again was before Dennis died. So now, shopping is the worst experience to experience because he's not there, and everything you see, you think of him. And I can't even enjoy looking at Legos today. Almost made me cry because it was an airplane that he would have loved. And I'm like, do I buy this airplane and make it, or is it going to torture me by doing that? I didn't buy it right now, but and now what I'm going to tell you right now, my counselors know. They're very well aware of what I'm doing. And I know that I said in my last video something about that I just kind of had to sleep and stuff. Well, let's just say I have enough medication that I've been prescribed, but no longer take, but know what the side effects are. Like, know that it makes you tired. Like, dead tired. Like, where you can't be awake anymore. And that's the goal. So, I have been doing that off and on. Not every single day, but I've been doing that off and on for about a week. Since last Wednesday. I mean, I was late for PT. I'm never late for PT. Never. So, you'd already know something's up. But it was my last PT. And, that was it. I mean, for now. I mean, I'm gonna go. Monday, my plan, as long as it doesn't snow again, my plan is to go swimming on Monday. So, I will go stop by and say hello. And I have purposely not shaved my face so I can show my PT guy in person before I do. I haven't decided yet, but that was like because it feels dysphoric. Like, it does make me feel dysphoric. I really think that people can see it now because it's that visible, I guess is the word. You can see it. Like, I can see it, but maybe you can't see it, but I don't know. Because you just have, you have a little bit of hair here, and then you have a bunch of hair down here, and then on the sides. I don't know. It's going to be cooler after top surgery. How's that for an answer? I can't wait. People, you guys don't understand. I've wanted top surgery since I was 10. Since I could understand. Actually, once I started understanding what developing was, that was when I was like, no. I am not a girl, I am a boy. And yeah, I struggled with that for a really long time. And of course, out of everybody in the family, I was the one that got the biggest package. And to make it worse, my sister always has to call me out on it. Like, why can't you give me some? Or why did, you know, why did the one person that didn't want them get the most? And I'm just like, I mean, she's done this she's always done it in front of people. Um, but sometimes it's like with a lot of people. And it's like, oh my god. I think her boyfriend, like, she doesn't have a boyfriend now, but it was like when her boyfriend was there, my brother's girlfriend at the time, and like, there was a whole mess of people in that room, and she's talking about this. Dude, I'm a guy. Don't talk about my things that are not supposed to be there. Especially in front of people. And then to make it worse, like, my mom gets embarrassed, and then she's just like, Lauren, like, not, like, I think my mom, like, kind of knew, like, and I just, for me, I just, whatever people are talking about at the time, I just have to deal with it at the time, you know, and there are things that you know what, I think I dealt with more than I wanted to deal with in my transgender, like, life. So, like, when I was, like, I feel I made a mistake by not, like, I wanted to change my name when I was 18. I'm glad I didn't because I have a better name now. And the name I had before, I don't think would have fit me very well, or, I don't know. I feel that the name I picked out is better. So, um, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't, uh, I started going by JC at like 2021. I actually had a girlfriend at the time that was the same name as mine, and it just sounded weird. Like, it sounded weird when I called her my birth name, just because that was her name. And I went by JC, and then that made it easier for everybody around us. And that was a complicated relationship we're not even going to go into. We're still friends, but yeah. Like I said, we're not going to go into it. I still love her. I feel that I wasn't, family-wise and, like, friends, like, a couple of my friends that I've been friends with since I was, like, either 18 or 6. No, she was 6. I was, like, 8. We've been friends since camp. I mean, we were just friends forever. We are friends. We're still friends. Anyways. And I think we'll always be friends. But how she sees me is different than how I want to be seen by people. And I've asked people since I started my transition, like, how they see me. Like, do you see me as a boy, a girl, a question mark? I've had a question mark. I've had just, you're just JC. I don't see you as either sex. So it depends on the person. And, like, my friend, you know, like, one friend, so I have 2 friends that are guys, and one was like, well, it depends on how I see you. If I see you as this, that, and the other thing, I see you as a girl. And if I see you as this, that, and the other thing, I see you as a boy. But basically, he sees me as a girl. I'm like, okay, I get that. You're a guy. And then my other friend, who's a guy, so I'm trying not to, like, name names. My other friend that's a guy, he's like, I've always seen you as a guy. You're a guy to me. We used to go in the guy bathroom together. Not that we were doing anything, but going to the bathroom. But we've just always done guy stuff. I think, to be honest with you, I mean, he's really busy, and we don't really see each other that often, and we're actually really not talking as often as we do, but we know we're always there, and we're friends with each other forever. Like, that's not going to change. But I think my transition is might be a little difficult for certain people. Um, I think it might be difficult for everybody, to be honest with you, even you guys. I mean, you guys haven't seen me as a guy yet. Like, my facial structure is going to change. My voice is going to get even deeper. I am going to look a little different than I do now. Like, in 3 years, you're not even gonna recognize me. So, that can be hard for people that actually know you. And I keep asking him, I'm like, does my voice sound any different to you? He's like, no. So I think he's kind of like in denial. My voice has changed. Come on. My voice has changed. And he's just like, no, I haven't heard any change. And then, like, some other friends are just like, yeah. But it depends on who you talk to. Like, some people are like, I see you as a guy. I've always seen you as a guy. I see you as a girl. And I'm just like, and I had to ask my transgender doctor, counselor. So I have a doctor that obviously we talk about everything, but it has to have a label. So he's my transgender counselor, and I see him on Tuesdays, and I like him. I mean, he's new, like really new, like maybe a month old, new. And I think the most stress that I have is going there and back, because it's like, yeah, but it's doable. Like, it's a really easy. It's like literally go straight all the way until you get to this bridge. You take a right and a left, and then you keep on going straight until, like, you see a police station. Take a left, and then it's right there on your left-hand side. Now, speaking of that, I have to memorize how to get to places by using Google. So you have to look at the map. You have to use a landmark that you already know. So that's how I did that. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I know what Washington Street is, and I know where that mall is, so I know how to, But then, when you have to take these lefts and rights and stuff, I have to actually go onto the Google Maps. So this is another thing that I have to do because I'm learning disabled. I cannot use GPS. That would probably cause an accident. So when you have to take these lefts and rights, I actually have to. Google has we're a street view. So I go to where that street is, and right where that intersection is, and I'm looking at the landmarks around there using my phone and seeing what is actually there. And I'm like, okay, so there's a sign, there's a bridge, there's this, there's that, and it turns into 2 lanes or something like that. Like, you just have to, like, and then I'm like, okay, so then I go to the other spot where I have to take a left, and I'm like, okay, what's there that I can use as a landmark? And then I say, well, I'm going only on one, like, it's literally like 2 streets. So it's like this, that, and this. That's it. So I had to, again, go to where the street I have to take a left on. I have to go onto Google Maps again and look at the landmarks. And I can go pretty far just doing that. Like, I don't want to, but I can do it. And if I'm going far, usually what I do is I write down the important information that you need to know, like your exits, the town you're going to, different lefts, rights, whatever. Like, you just write it down on a piece of paper so you have it. But I never end up using it. Because it's better than having to try and figure it out through a map on your phone. The other cool thing, though, is your phone has the map app, and if your phone is tracking you, so if your map is tracking you, so you know exactly where you are. And for some reason, I have a really good sense of direction. So if I'm going in the wrong direction, like, I can memorize the map, but if I feel like I took a left when I was supposed to take a right, I can pull over, take a look at the map real quick. It's not that hard. And then I can say, am I right or am I wrong? And when I notice I'm wrong, I can find the streets that can take me. Either I have to do a U-turn, or I can find streets that can bring me to that street, which I've had that happen before, and I was like, oh, okay, I can take this street, and it takes me to this street, and then it brings me onto the street that I needed to be on. Yeah, like, it's pretty cool what a map can do for you, besides GPS, because GPS doesn't really, like, you guys rely on GPS. Me, I can see everything around me, and I can enjoy the view instead of going, am I almost there? Did I get lost? What did you not tell me? And then people are talking on the phone. That's my rule. I never talk on the phone when I'm driving. Not even on an earpiece. Unless I was running late to an appointment, or a phone call came that was not a friend, like it had to be like a doctor's office, or basically like a doctor's office. That's the only calls I'll take on the road. Because you just can't, like, not, like, sorry, I'm driving, I can't talk to you right now. And yeah, so that's like a big thing. I just listen to my music, and that's it. That's it. Just listen and listen and listen and feel the music and look at the people that are driving stupid, because they are. And you can tell when they're texting because they're not staying in their own lane or paying attention. They're just not staying in their own lane. They do that even when they're talking on the phone. Like, it's terrible. And what is this with tailgating? Like, is that like a new thing? Like, for some reason, people have to tailgate. You do know it takes time to stop, right? People are tailgating me, and I hate that. And I always leave, like, at least 2 or 3 cars length in front of me. Because people are stupid, and they pull in front of you. You need time to stop. I mean, and then people, like, when I mean tailgating, I mean, they're like this close. What the hell you gotta be that close for? Give me some room. Get off my butt. Like, learn how to drive. Really. And it was worse down in North Carolina. It was terrible. People could drive faster, but they weren't staying in their own lane. People would hit you because they didn't know how to stay in their own lane. And that wasn't even with texting or talking on the phone. It was terrible. It was horrible. I hated it. And one of the worst thing about down there is everything was just, I mean, I kind of liked it, but kind of didn't, because you were just like in one city and you had to like go like 2 hours just to get to another one. But it was like a square. Like, it wasn't really hard to get lost. Poor Dennis, he was always lost, because for some reason once we got down there I drove more. But it was so easy because everything was a square. It really wasn't that hard. And it was funny because there was one street that I was saying what it was, because I'm dyslexic, so I was calling it a different name. And it really would have been funny if you said, okay, take a right on such and such street, but the name that I said was the wrong street. Yes, don't ever get directions from me. And the other thing too is, no one can give me directions. I need an address. That's it. Just give me an address to where I gotta go, and I will figure it out in my own way. Because the thing is people are like, okay, so take the highway, and then get off at this exit, and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? If I do it my way, I might be able to find back roads to get to you. How's that for an answer? Mm-hmm. So, even though I have learning disabilities, I'm also more intelligent than some other people are. Yep. And I enjoy so many different things. I I actually like to research. I mean, I like to research new things. I like to learn. That's the one thing that it's always like it's been hard for me for the last 6 months, but other than that, like I crave to learn new things. Like I wish I could get back into it. I'm hoping that I don't know, the new year helps you kind of just move on. Nothing's ever gonna get me to move on from Dennis, and my counselors were even asking me that, and I'm just like, you know what? I says I don't even think I'll be able to move on in both aspects. So we were talking about sex stuff, and I think the only way I'm going to be able to learn about that kind of stuff is by being with somebody and experimenting that, or experiencing it. I think having somebody that you can really relate to and talk about it and be private about it and talk about it. And, I said I don't think I'm ever going to be able to figure that out on my own. And same thing with grieving. I said I don't think that I'm gonna ever stop until I can. Like, I think I need somebody to kind of be there in that aspect, like in a relationship aspect, to help me move on. I don't know how else to explain it, but I told them that. Now, going back to my counselor stuff, so the new counselor I see, he's my transgender counselor, but we talk about everything because everything is connected. Believe it or not, it's all connected. So I asked him. I didn't ask my other counselor, and I don't know if I want to. I might, just because I asked one, and they both know each other, and they both talk to each other, which I gave him permission to do, I think. Yeah. Which I'm okay with. But I asked him the last time I saw him, I wanted to know if he saw me as a boy or as a girl. And I kind of think explained why. Now, my counselor is gay. And I kind of like that, but at the same time, I understand that they're not going to understand what a transgender person is. But he also specializes in transgender people. So I know he works like in I don't know. Got a lot of connections, right? But what's funny is that he is, I mean, you can tell he's gay, but his body structure is like masculine. So like he's tall and he's masculine. He's big. You wouldn't, like, if he wasn't wearing things that spelt out I'm gay, and he didn't have bags that spelt out that I'm gay, then you wouldn't know. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think the masculine side, I guess, helps me connect better with him. It's not about gay or bi, or it's not about your sex at all, because that has nothing to do with me. But maybe it makes it a little bit easier to talk to him. I don't know. I'm just rambling, right? So I asked him and he answered me, and I told him, some people are seeing me as guy, some people see me as girl, and I kind of need to, I'm like, I know he didn't want to answer it, but I told him, I basically made it where he could not answer. So I asked him the question, I need to know if you see me as a guy or a girl. And then I said, before you don't answer, if you say you don't want to answer the question, then I already know the answer. And I said, because I've already been through this. So I asked my PT guy, when we first started, probably like the first month that we were doing PT, and I asked him, and he didn't feel comfortable answering the question. And that answered my question. Because if you don't want to answer the question, then I already know what the answer is. Because if you answered the question, then I would know. Oh my god, shush. I don't care what time it is. It's telling me go to bed. No, I'm not going to the night. I don't want to. I'm not tired. My ADD is getting really bad. I have ADHD. And the thing is ADHD and bipolar disorder have a lot of similarities. So you never know if you're just crazy because you're bipolar or crazy because you're ADHD. But when you have ants in your pants and you have a fire in your belly, I mean, it's hard for me to just sit here and talk to you guys. Really. I'm like, yeah, let's do 20 push-ups. And then the rush you get when you do that, it's just like, oh, I don't know. Anyways, this has been an hour and a half conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was educational, because that was the purpose of this talk. But, yeah, I mean, you can learn a lot from me. Just ask. And, in the meantime, I will just keep learning how to live life. And that's what we do. I'm looking forward to writing my book, now that I figured out how to do it. Audio. Use your phone. Get a recording app. This one already had it. And then record. And then you can go back, and when you're listening to it, you can stop, write, and then you have a bunch of words on a piece of paper. Look at that. Anybody can write a book. But it sounds different when you say it. It sounds like you're actually talking to the person, like I'm talking to you, but in a book. And I have to say, if I ever did have a book out, like if I actually got a book signing and got a book to publish, I would make it mandatory that it's an audio version. And big print. Not the biggest, but big print so people can read it. It doesn't matter if you're old or young, just learning how to read. You can read it because it's big enough to read. But audio, that's a big thing. And yes, it can have my new voice in it. That would be cool, because you're actually hearing the author read it instead of having like some, I don't know how these audio things work, but whatever. It'd be an interesting book, but I'm going to start it at what's been going on the last year. And you can really, I want to bring it where you can really feel the emotion. You can really feel like you're there during that experience. And like you're taking the ride, the journey with us. And you know what? His kids aren't gonna like what I say. How's that? And I'll be nice. How's that? I'm gonna be nice, but It doesn't matter if I even say anything about them or their dad. They're not going to like it. And too bad. Too bad. Because if it does get published, then they'll really be mad. And that's the goal, is to get the book published. I don't know how to do that, but you know what? I haven't let anything stop me before, so why would I let that stop me now? Figure it out, and you'll get there. So, what educational advice that I want to leave you guys is very important. Okay? So, if you don't know how to do something, don't be afraid to try. You're never going to know if you can do it if you don't try. So, if you want to try and reborn, try it. Nothing to lose. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try new techniques. Don't be afraid to try something new that you created. That you think, hey, wait a minute, I think I can do it this way. There's something beautiful about art is that there's no limitations. There's no wrong ways. Now, there is a such thing as an ugly baby because you painted it horrible because you just don't know how to do it. And you can't learn in one baby. But take this information for anything. Like, you want to learn how to fly a plane? I can't even talk. Fly a plane? Go for it. You want to go skydiving? Do it. You want to learn how to oil paint? Take an oil painting class. Or, better yet, YouTube. It's free. I would like to oil paint again. I haven't oil painted in a while. But do I have the time? I don't know. But I did get the supplies. That's a start. Just make time, try something new. Never be afraid of it. If you're going to always be afraid. I notice a lot of times people in the community, especially in the reborn community, they're always saying how they can't do something. And everybody's always saying how they can't do this and they can't do that. The only person that's stopping you is you, buddy. That's the only person that's stopping you. And you know what? I have no fear. If I mess up, I mess up. Big deal. If I bought a kit and I ruined it, oh well. It was a couple bucks. Like, you know what I mean? $100 down the drain. Guess what? I've bought more crap and I've wasted more money on other crap, and that I don't have anymore because it's gone. Or, for example, I bought a $200 bed. I don't have it. It's a bed frame. I'm trying to sell it, and people are trying to give me $100 for it. I paid $200, and I lost my train of thought. Wow. But I'm just saying, like, we waste money on other stuff. So why not try and waste money on an investment or on something that you want to try and do? If you mess up and you move on. But never be afraid to try it. Like, people are afraid to try rooting, and people are afraid to try to paint a baby. Or, I don't know, just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. JC's got your back. You'll be fine. And when I say I got your back, I mean, I'm here to talk to you about anything you need to talk about. But you can't blame me for anything. Nope. I take no blame. I didn't do it. I swear, I didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about, because I didn't do it. Yeah, well, that is what I'm going to leave you with tonight, is don't be afraid to try anything that you want to try. I got into reborns when I was in 2012, and I started buying one baby after another. Like, I bought two babies in 1 month, another baby another month, another baby another month, and then another baby another month. And I was just like, I can't afford to do this anymore. And I said, I mean, this is what I was thinking at the time. I'm like, Dennis is going to get older. I'm going to want to try to work from home so I can care for him and you know, make babies, be able to financially support us. The sad thing is that the way Dennis died was wasn't in the plan. How's that? Like, I expected him to not suffer and not go so fast and not die the way he did. Like, I expected him to, need more care over time. Not like it was. And that was horrible. And like I said, it will be in my book. But anyways, like, here's another example. I'm very creative. Everybody always says I'm always creative. And why don't you go over to, people that have the miniature babies, and I do make products for the miniature babies, and you're more than welcome to buy them. I actually encourage you to buy them. But, and I can say that most people probably would rather buy them than make their own and mess it up, or be afraid to mess it up, or whatever. It's not going to look good. And you know what? When I started making these things, they didn't look great. I learned every time I made them. And I got better every time I made them. And I sew them by hand, so they take me longer. But I don't know. Something about hand making them, you can just get into areas where I don't think you could. I mean, I don't know. Other people are using sewing machines, but I don't know. Something about hand making it from scratch. Just, I don't know. But anyways, I'm making product, but never be afraid to try. You never know. You might find the creativeness in yourself. And I hope that I can encourage you guys to do better, or be better, or be more, whatever. But I'm hoping that I can kind of get back in the swing of things, people. I know you miss the babies, you miss my crafting, you miss everything. I mean, yeah, just, I'm still trying to, like, I've been in, if I'm awake, I'm in Fantasyland. You guys don't know that about me. But I make up, like, a story that I'm actually living. And it takes hours out of my day. And okay. So, when I was a teenager, I did this. So, like, when I'm severely bipolar, I guess, when I can't handle reality, I end up in Fantasyland a little. And when I was with Dennis, I wasn't really in Fantasyland, but I had a particular time, or when I felt like I needed to express myself, with my transgender stuff. I did that privately, in the bedroom. Shut the door, and it was private, I mean, I might have been embarrassed if he came in, but it's funny because I would, I know you guys don't know a lot about transgender stuff, but There's binders, and there's packers, and there's STPs. That's a stand-up device that you can pee standing up. And then there's a pack and play, and that's, I think you guys get the drift of that. And I think I have 3. So I have like the 3 cheapest ones you've ever bought, and I've never really felt comfortable. Like, I don't know. Obviously, I would never wear it out with Dennis, and I never felt comfortable wearing it with having my top. But I'm noticing I'm getting more like dysphoric without having something. But it took me 4 years to get to adapt to a foreign object in my mouth, and these hurt. Like right now, I'm having a little bit of pain. But that's probably because I'm talking too much. But I feel that, I mean, I'll be totally honest with you guys. I'm planning on bottom surgery. You have to go. So this is how it works. You start with testosterone, and then you do top surgery, and then you do the full hysterectomy. So they take everything out, and then you have to be 6 months post-op. So that means 6 months after, before they'll even consider you for bottom surgery. And you have to be 1 year, at least 1 year on T before they consider you. And right now in my state, they don't have a bottom surgeon. So I'd have to go out of state, and it would cost more money all around. And there's multiple surgeries for that. And my endocrinologist said, you're better off waiting, because I think he thinks that there's doctors that are working on, like, they realize that there's a lot of transgender people that need that service that live here, so they're trying to work on that. So he must, I mean, he's a transgender doctor, so he must know more information than I do, right? So he says, in the works, but future. And hopefully it's not too far in the future. But when you think about it, I wouldn't even think that I'd be able to get bottom surgery done until like 2020. I mean, it's already 2018. 2020 is in 2 years, guys. You know that, right? Have you figured that out? You have 2018, 2019, and then 2020. Wow. So all of 2018, all of 2019, and like that's 2 years. Two years. Like 1, 2. That's crazy. Like I always think it's like so far away, and then I'm just like, wait a minute. Can you believe it's already 2018? That's crazy. Believe it or not, 2017 went by really fast, even though it was very devastating for me. But for some reason, it went by way too fast. And I think I noticed after Dennis died, it went by like really fast. I can't believe how fast it went. Like, I can't believe what I accomplished in 6 months. So, I went from basically ultimately suicidal for 2 weeks after Dennis died to, what's my goal? What will keep me alive? What do I need to do? What do I want? Because I was struggling with wanting a baby and transitioning, or else I would have transitioned years ago. And that was the big struggle, and I had to make a phone call, and that was my answer. So I called the foster care system, and I asked them, and I said everything to them. I said, listen, this is the deal. I am bipolar. I am transgender. I am this. I just lost my husband. I live in this situation. And I said everything to them. And I just says, would this stop me from being eligible to foster care or foster care to adopt? And obviously, the grieving was a big issue, but obviously, in the future, so that's something you can do in the future, but you'd have to be away from the grieving part. And your living situation. So basically, you need a room for the child. That's it. Like, obviously, if you're mentally sane during that time when you're getting evaluated, you'll be fine. So that was basically like, so I'm saying, okay, so my transgender isn't gonna stop me. My being bipolar isn't gonna stop me, and my being single isn't gonna stop me. And they're like, no. That was my answer. I said, okay. So I decided to move forward with my transition. I says, that's the only thing that's going to keep me alive at this point. I'm like, I feel so dysphoric and so disgusted with my body, and I always felt this way, and it just intensified when Dennis died. Because I had Dennis to distract me for 10 years. He was the best distraction. Like, he just distracted me, but also I was able to talk about my transition, like my transgender, like if I felt uncomfortable, and I said, I want to cut these off, and this, I had somebody to talk to about it, and no, he didn't understand, but he was there to just support you and love you and whatever. Now I don't have that, so Dennis died on July 2nd. And the week that Dennis was dying, when he was inpatient, I said to my mom, I'm going forward with transitioning. I was letting her know that that's the only thing that was going to keep me alive. Like, I was like, that's my goal. Like, I needed to have a goal before he died. And while he was there, like, he wasn't responsive to us. He was just there, waiting to die. And that's when I picked out my new name. And I need to keep it private. It will be in my book, so you'll have to buy my book. But for YouTube, it would have to be private. I can tell you that the beginning letter begins with a J, and the middle name begins with a C, and that's why it's JC. So my birth name is the same way, and a long time ago I decided that being called JC was important to help people that knew me, help them transition when it was time to transition. Because I knew I was going to transition eventually. So I had to get people ready. I'm like, you can't be calling me by that name when I'm transitioning. It's just not happening. And so Dennis died on the 2nd. I already had my new name picked out. And my middle name I had as a memory of Dennis. So I can just tell you that. And by July 19th, I went in to legally change my name. I can't even tell you exactly everything that happened, because a lot of it was like a blur. But so July 19th, I went to get my name legally changed, so I had to go to the courthouse and all that stuff and blah blah blah. So okay, got that stuff together, and because I was financially, like, it would have cost probably like $200 to change all 3 names, because I was changing my last name too. My dad wasn't too happy about that, but whatever. And I got it waived because I don't make enough. Like, that was how that worked. And yeah. So anyways, by that time, I was looking up, like, I think probably in those weeks. So like July, you know, uh, like those weeks, the teens of, the couple of weeks after Dennis died. Um, so I was once I made that phone call to the foster care system, I got on the horn and started researching and finding doctors and finding out how to do this. And the only place here is Fenway. So I already knew where to start, kinda. So I called them up and made an appointment and told them, like, I had to, like, go through, like, the administrator and, like insurance issues and all that stuff. And talked about top surgery and just, like, how all this stuff works. So, got all that stuff established and made an appointment. But I wasn't going to be able to get an appointment until August. So it was, like, going to be mid-August or whatever. And, I started my diet July 18th. I think was the last day that my family and I, we went out to eat, and I ate whatever. And that was the last day I ate out. That was the last day I ate any junk. Well, I won't say last time I ate junk, but last time that I was really I don't care what I eat, because I'm a junkie. I'll eat candy. I'll eat ice cream. So I had to stop all that. I had to train my brain to do something different. And I've been on a diet for 6 months, and I would say in this past week, I've cheated a little bit. Okay, a little bit more than I wanted to, but I've allowed myself to do that. Mentally having a tough time, and financially I was having a tough time, so I had to settle on, maybe some things that I shouldn't eat, but I haven't been eating them, so my only hope is that I won't want to keep eating them, but I'm allowing myself to cheat, and I have until Monday, and then that's it. No more cheating. But I'm also still working, so like I'm doing push-ups, and I'm even if I'm home, I'm still trying to exercise. So I'm working off some of those calories at least, right? Better than sitting here all day, right? Or sitting on the couch and eating whatever and watching TV all day. So anyways, I think my appointment was probably around like August, around the teens, I would say. And, or maybe it was around the beginning of the month. I'd actually have to look at my calendar. My calendar, oh, I don't know if it was this calendar. It might be on the calendar that you're on, but it would tell me what day it was. So I'll have to find out. But, made the point, okay, so I saw the endocrinologist, and I needed, I don't remember if I needed the letters for her, but I think I had them for her. So I found out, I think on my own, I forget, but I think I found out on my own that you needed 2 letters in order to start testosterone or to have top surgery. So I had both my doctors, my psychiatrist that I was no longer going to see anymore, but I had him for 20 years. I had him write a letter, and then I had my PCP, who I've also had for 20 years, and I had him write a letter. So I already had the letters. I mean, I was ahead of the game. Most people, it takes them 3 years to establish and get a letter. Like, a lot of these younger people, they have to go through a lot of counseling and all that stuff. And I've, like, been in counseling since I was 5. So, I was definitely qualified. So sometimes when you transition when you're older, it can happen a little faster, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. Depends. And I asked her at that appointment about top surgery, and she said that she would email me names. It took her 2 weeks to email me those names. And the day after I saw her, I said, I can't wait. So I started searching around on Google and trying to find out what top surgeon takes my insurance. And 2 and 2 got put together, and I found a doctor. Well, the funny thing was, 2 weeks later, that's the doctor that was on her list. So I already had called the top surgeon at that time. This is in August, and I called them, and they wouldn't even set up an appointment without having those letters. Like, they couldn't take any information. You couldn't do anything without those letters, which was perfect. I had them. I said, what's your fax number? I'll go fax them right now. And I did. I faxed them right then and there and called them an hour later and asked them if they got it. And they said, yep, we got the letters. You're accepted, whatever. And I'm like, you take my insurance? And they're like, yep, but there's a copay, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And but there was no copay for the visit that I was going to see him. And I was able to make an appointment. And they're like, well, the first appointment we have is September 19th. I'm like, I'll take it. I was pissed, but I was willing to take it because I found out that after you see the top surgeon, then they have to file the paperwork and all that stuff to your insurance company, and that can take up to a month to get approved. And then you get a surgery date. That sucked. Because when I saw him in September and asked him, he said he was already booking in January. And I was like, damn it. Like, no. I want surgery this year, like before the end of the year. And I'm okay with February, whatever. Like, I'm glad I just have a date. And so on September 15th, when I saw the endocrinologist, now this was the nurse practitioner, and I didn't know this. I personally, like, nothing against them. I personally don't like them. I need a doctor. I need a real, I mean, nurse practitioners still have to go to the doctor sometimes and ask them and blah, blah, blah. And she canceled on me twice. And I set up from now until May the guy I do like, which is the actual doctor that she has to go to and ask questions. So I'd rather see the doctor. And it's funny because he's gay too. And you can kind of tell he's gay, but he's the one that, he's funny because he's like, dude, you're crazy. You need meds. Like, he kept saying that. And then I think the last visit we had in December, I told him I did go back on meds. So I think we're good. And my testosterone level is very high. It's like, it was, and in November, it was 959. So guys are between 300 and 1100. So I'm on the higher side. So obviously we're not upping the dose. But I'm excited because that means that if it's higher, I would think that if it was higher, that things can happen a little faster. But I don't know. I wouldn't know that unless I asked. September 15th. Now, I think the nurse practitioner was probably more afraid of my bipolar than he was. And I feel like I wasn't treated very well for a while. I had to fight for what I wanted. She didn't even put me on a therapeutic dose. And at least that's what the endocrinologist doctor said. So 3 weeks later, I ended up calling them, and because we were having problems, they wouldn't let me do my own shots. I had to fight with them to do subcutaneous, and in the process having meltdowns in the doctor's office. So you guys have never, that would actually be like a funny video if you guys ever saw a JC meltdown. That would be hilarious because I am psychotic. I'm crying and I won't let you, I don't know, hyperventilating and freaking out, and it's just really funny. Like, you'd have to have that on videotape to witness that. And I don't know, maybe it could be scary for some people, but when you're at a doctor's office and you're demanding, like, I'm just the type of person that doesn't take no for an answer. Like, you can't just tell me no. What do you mean no? Or what do you mean you're not gonna tell me? Or, like, stop messing around. Like, I don't know, these doctors, they just, I don't know, I don't feel like we get the quality care that we used to get. How's that for an answer? So it's like we have to fight more to get what we need. And, so I saw her on the 15th. She started me on it. But I guess communication wasn't very clear. Because my doctor's office, my PCP, where lives closer, so it would be easier for me to have them train me. They were not qualified to train me. They didn't even know how to do it. And I'm like, how hard is it to do a subcutaneous shot? You've been doing subcutaneous forever. Like, it's nothing different. So I was fighting with them, fighting with the other doctor, and then they're just like, well, they can't sign you off or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that's like, it was a pain in the neck. How's that for an answer? And it took me a month to get this straightened out. A month. Anyways, in the meantime, saw the top surgeon, and I'm going to be bluntly honest with you. So, yes, I was uncomfortable. And yes, you had to take everything off from top up. Not something JC likes to do very often at all. By myself, I'm fine. But not in front of people. But during that time, like, what I do is you have to go into a place. You have to go into your guy head. That's how the easiest way I can say it. And if you look straight ahead, then you're a guy. Because you're not looking what's down there. And that's what I had to do. They have to take, like, measurements, and they had to, I don't know, whatever. And I guess it was easier that it was a guy than a girl doing it. I don't know. But he was kind of a dick. I think I kind of, I swore. Excuse me. But, I kind of don't mind that, because basically he said it's his way or the highway. So when you have somebody that's kind of like you, I guess he's a good doctor, isn't he? But his work is pretty nice. Everybody really likes his work and all that stuff. And it's amazing how fast things got. So what happened is my insurance wouldn't have approved it until it could have taken about a month, so it was like 18th, 19th of October. they're not going to call me. So I waited until like the October 18th and gave them a call. And I said, what's going on? So like I've already been on testosterone now for like a month and a half, whatever. And I'm like, I wanted to know if, my insurance approved it, blah, 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 so we can go ahead with scheduling a date. And I was getting kind of worried because I needed my mom's help, and you had to do like you didn't have to pay the whole thing, but you had to pay a certain amount to get a date. And that's what we had to do. And so we had to get the payment first before you could set a date. So they actually had to like have it like, okay, we have the money now, and now we can set a date. So that's how we had to do it. But got approved, and that day I was able to get a date, and it was February 27th, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so far away. And now it's like, it's not really that far away. I have a lot more work to do. I mean, the top surgeon in September is like, you need to lose like 40 pounds. It's so not right to tell anybody that. Anybody. But where's the 40 pounds? It's probably in my chest. Like, I've been trying, but I'm in pain every day. And then when I'm in pain and I go to PT, and that means physical therapy, and then they don't know what kind of pain you're in. And during this time, I found out I had fibromyalgia and arthritis in my hips. And I guess grief can cause muscular pain or pain. And so can your bipolar when it's crazy. So I just had like everything working against me. And I guess it took 6 months before my PT guy kind of gave up on me. But I called him right out on it. Like, this happened on a Friday, and when I came in there on Monday, I'm like, we need to talk. And I think for him, like, this is new to him. Like, the transitioning, actually being part of a transition for a transgender person, that's never happened for him. Like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to witness from the beginning to the end, So I think he was trying to, like, understand me as a transgender person, and I was like, dude, you can't. There is no way. It's okay. You just gotta be there for me, that's all. Like, every step of the way, whatever. It's like, you just gotta have my back. Don't give up on me. I haven't given up on me. You can't give up on me. I'm like, if you give up on me, then I will. And you can't. So, I'm like, yes, I'm in pain all the time. And it's always different. And every day is a different day. And you just have to get up and do the best you can. But I feel like because they don't know what pain is causing what or where the pain is, I feel like they hold me back a little bit too. I like that in like recovery, that they would hold you back, but not when you've been doing it for 6 months. So now I'm not losing weight. I'm trying to swim. I'm being told not to swim too much and blah blah blah. And at the same time, we have to make sure that I don't hurt myself, because now I'm not in PT. And because it's the new year, it kind of starts everything all over, but because it's the same diagnosis, and my PT office, like, they all agreed that it makes more sense to not be there in January and February and wait until after surgery, when I could need them for another 6 months, and then I would have the financial backing because it's a different diagnosis now, and it's like I can start over instead of already being at the cutoff, the deadline. So I don't know, but now I feel like I'm really all alone, and I could hurt myself at any second, and I'm really afraid of falling on ice. Like right now, for some reason, that's like a really big fear I have. I'm sure we all fear that. Nobody wants to fall on ice. But I almost think that that was the initial, like, what started my back issue. But I can't necessarily say that because I've had back pain for like 10 years, like since I was like 24, 25, just by making a bed like this. And I'm like, oh my god, that was the worst day of my life when it comes to pain. I still went to work for 8 hours, and I called my I went into work in a lot of pain. I never experienced that much pain before because it was like sciatic pain. I went into work because this happened an hour before I was supposed to go to work. There's no way I was going to call in going into work an hour before you have to be there. Like, that's just inappropriate. I don't care if you're dead. You go to work anyways. But you have to so when I went in there, I called him at his home, and I told him, listen, I don't know what I did. I'm here, but I am in excruciating pain. Like my back, I can barely stand up and walk. I'm like, I'm here, but I can't do any chores today. Do you have a problem with this? Because he could have said, listen, you know, I can have somebody come in or whatever, or he didn't care about the chores. Like he understood. He asked me if he wanted to, if I needed him to come in so I can go home, and I was just like, no, I'm gonna try and make it through. I can't even lift myself, let alone anything else. So I don't know what I did, and that was the only day that it hurt the most. Like I thought I was dying. Like it was like the worst. I don't know how I did it. How's that for an answer? But anyways, after that day, I started experiencing more and more pain as I got older, and I helped a friend move once, and it was icy, and I slipped on ice. And after that incident was when I started going to a back doctor. So we don't know what caused my back issues. Who knows? But I'm sure slipping on ice didn't help, because I hit right on the bone, like right at that bottom. Actually, right with the right with the nerve, the pinch nerve thing or whatever it is, like the bulge disc that's pinching the nerve. So yeah, I definitely fell down in that area. So I'm really afraid to fall on ice. I'm very afraid to like get into a car. So I am afraid to have anything delay my top surgery. That was like basically the point. So yeah. So I'm just concerned that I could overdo it and hurt myself more. Because obviously I don't want to be in more pain before top surgery, but like right now sitting here, I'm in a lot of pain. You just don't know it because I'm not telling you about it. But yeah, well, you can tell when I'm kind of going like this and like that, and it's just like, yeah, those muscles really hurt, you know? And then, so like sitting arched, I guess, hurts, but then sitting like trying to sit up straight feels weird. And that's what you have to learn how to do, is sitting up straight. Like this takes a lot of muscle and a lot of effort to stand up, to like sit up straight. And it hurts. But he says the more and more you do it, the more and more it's going to come natural. And then you're not going to go like that anymore. But I also think that my transgender has a lot to do with how I sit and how I walk and how I approach things. I'm always trying to inward my body versus outward my body. So I think that after top surgery, I'm going to stand up straighter because I'll be more confident and they won't be in my way. And they were never supposed to be there to begin with, so it made me feel better. And a lot of transgender people I find, they say that, yeah, that was a big, big relief. Like, after top surgery, it was like, that was when it's almost like that was like their biggest part of transitioning for them. And it is for me. Oh, I can't wait to see it. Like, I can't wait and I'm going to show it off. And it's just going to be, obviously I'm not going to show off now. I would show off after, just to be clear. But once I figure out how to edit the photos, so I've been taking photos throughout my transition so we can kind of see the changes and the curves and the whatevers, but we have to kind of edit certain things. Because I wouldn't want the world to see that. How's that for an answer? And I have seen changes, but it's just like, oh my god, can't you just get rid of those? Like, can it be straighter there? Can't you just not be so fat there? And yeah, you kind of nitpick a little bit more when you're transitioning, but it's just part of it. I think that writing a book would be a good idea, just to kind of get how you feel and how and to get people to understand how you feel and how the transition is going, and just, I don't know, like, put you there in that experience with you. And I think that will be the closest for people to really understand a transgender person, by doing that. And I hope I can do that, because I have a lot to talk about, as you can see, right? And I think it would be, hopefully it could be a good seller, and it can be a fascinating, like, people will be, like, it will be an educational book, and hopefully help people be like, wow, this was a true story, and this person did, like, how did they do all this? Like, why did they give up a long time ago? And then they're like, if I can do it, if this person can do it, I can do it. So that's kind of hopefully what I can just help people. Because, I mean, I suffer with bipolar disorder, I have learning disabilities, and I still do this, that, and the other thing. So, but that is it. That's all we'll talk about. You have any questions for me, feel free to give me those questions. So, I know this video was 2 hours and 18 something minutes long. I apologize, but there are some people that like to listen to me. And those that did and actually listened to this whole thing, good for you. Cool. I like you too. So, if you like this video, don't forget to like down below. Go ahead. There's a little like button down below. You just click it. It's somewhere around there. Yep, that button. Yeah. So, don't forget to click the like button down below. Feel free to leave me any comments, any questions, anything, even even if you're mean, I can handle it. And I'm sorry Javian wasn't awake for this video tonight, but he is sleeping. And I know everybody loves Javian. And all the other babies. I know. Cola and Braylon and all the other babies. I can't think of their names right now at 1:30 in the morning. So, just too many babies. Jarvis. There's Javon. I can't even say his name. Javon. Yeah, Javon. And there's Jericho and Jarvis. And yeah, just I've lost all. Like, there's too many babies to keep track of. I don't know all their names. So, yeah. But yeah. So, just leave me any comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this helped. Different things and different, I just basically put a bunch of videos all in one talk. How's that? And it's probably a nice video to fall asleep to. Maybe you'll learn something while your subconscious is talking. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. And I will see you, and JV will see you back here the next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a good night.